Hello and welcome. So today we are going to add our project to a Git repository, and this is going to be very easy and very interesting, and I will show you step by step from scratch how to do it. Now this video I am creating as a part of our Selenium automation framework, but you can also use this lecture standalone to add any project or any folder to a Git repository. Okay, and also here we have option to add our project directly from Eclipse IDE or any IDE you are using. You can get the Git plugin and do it everything from Eclipse. But here I am going to show you how to do it from command line. That will be very easy, very interesting, and also that will be common for any project, whether you are using any IDE or whether you are using any project. You just have to add the folder of the project on Git. So this will work for everything. Okay, so the first step here is we need to check if Git is already present on our system. Okay, so to do that we will go to command prompt. If you are on Windows, you can go to command prompt. If you are on Mac or Linux, you can go to your terminal, and here run the command git space hyphen hyphen version or git hyphen v. So if Git is already installed on your system, it should show you the Git version. Now in my case it is not there, so the first thing we will do is we will get Git, we will download and then install Git on our system. Okay, so now here I will just say Git download. So this will take me to the Git website, which is this one, git-scm.com, and I'm going to the download section. And here, so you can see I'm here on this website, git-scm.com/downloads, and here it will check and it will automatically show you your operating system. It will show you the option to download for your operating system, but just in case you want to select, you can select the operating system from here and then select the latest version of Git. So I will just click on this download for Windows, so it will start downloading, or you can also check from here, click here to download the latest version. And we also have options for 32-bit 64-bit Windows setup, and this you can check on your device, on your system. So let's say if I am on Windows, I can go to my computer or this PC, do a right click here, and if I go to properties, it should show me the details of my operating system. So here you can see I have a 64-bit operating system. Okay, so I will get this one, or you can just click here, it will give you the 64-bit version and this will get downloaded. So if I go to my downloads folder, so you can see this gets downloaded here. Okay, similarly if you are on Mac, you can just go to your terminal and say git space hyphen v, or you can say git space hyphen hyphen version, and this should show you the Git version on your system. Okay, so let us just continue on Windows. The steps are going to remain the same. So this is downloaded here. Okay, now I will just double click this installer, this setup, and this will start the setup for Git installation. Okay, so here you can read the license and then say next, and then here you have to select the repository, the folder where your Git will get installed. So by default it goes in C drive, but if you want to change, you can change the drive. So let's say I want to get it in my D tools folder, so I will select this, and this has already taken the folder Git here, so I will say next. Now here you can just go with all the defaults. So here open git bash, here all these things you can keep it as default here. Okay, and say next, and this also is all fine. Next and next, so you can keep everything default and press next. And everything I am keeping it as default, and then finally I will click on install. So this will install Git on your system. Now during this process, if you are facing any issues, you can always check online. You will get a lot of help and resources to help you. Sometimes if you are not admin on your system, it may show you some messages or some things, but that is all fine. You can run the installer as administrator, or you can check the options, but generally this is very straightforward, easy and fast process. And this should also add a git bash on our system, which is similar to command prompt, but it has some it shows us the commands in different colors, which you can use for anything, not just for git. So we will also see that. Let us just wait for this installation to complete, and this should be done now. Yes. Okay, so this is done, and now it shows us the options. Do you want to launch git bash or view release notes? So if you want to see release notes, you can also see that. I'm just saying launch git bash, and I will say finish. Okay, and you can see this is the git bash. Okay, you can also open it separately. So when you go to you can just search for git bash, and you can see git bash app is now added on our system. So let us say I can also right click here, and I can say options. So if I want to change some colors or text fonts, etc., so let me select this, and let me see if we have console as is good, and I will go with a higher font. Okay, yeah, looks like should be fine. So this is git bash. Now here I can run similar like any commands. I will say git space -v, and it is showing me the git version. And this also I can run cls, or this is not able to run this. So this should also run, this should run all the commands that we can run on terminal on Mac or Linux. So you can see cls is a Windows command which is not running here, but clear is running, which is a Mac or Linux command. Okay, so similarly dir is running, ls is running here. Ls is again a Linux or Mac command. Okay, so this can be very handy. You can use git bash for your general purpose also. Okay, now I will also check this on my command prompt. I'm opening a new command prompt. So make sure that you open a new command prompt, because the old command prompt should be maintaining the old session. And here now if I say git space -v or git space -- version, I am getting the version for git. Okay, that means git is now installed on the system. So we have done step number 1. Okay, now we have to add our project folder to Git. So you can go to your command line or command prompt on Windows or terminal on Mac or Linux, and then go to the project folder. So here, let us say I'll just continue with git bash, because here we also get the commands in different colors, which can be easy to see and understand. Okay, let me also just go to the right click and go to the options and text and select the fonts. So I think I can go with something like this one, which should be good. Okay, I will say apply and save. Okay, now here I will just go to my folder, project folder. So in this case, the project folder we have is in our projects folder, which is on my D drive, and in automation folder. So this is the project folder. So I will copy this location, and I will say cd, and then paste the location, and you can see here it is saying no such file. So first I will have to change the drive. I will say d colon or okay, I'll on git bash I will have to say cd, then this drive. So yes, this changes the drive. Let me just go back to my command prompt, because this can be a little confusing. there will be a little bit different syntax here. So let me just go back to command line. Okay, and here I will say, first I will change the drive because I'm on C drive and my project folder is on D drive. So first I will say D colon and hit enter. So now I am on D drive, and now I can say cd and space my location of my project folder, and now I am on my project folder here. Okay, so now we will run the command git init. This is the first command to initialize git on the folder, and you will also see that once I do this, it will create a hidden .git folder in this project folder. Okay, so let me say here, or let me just go back. I will say git init. This is the command to initialize git repository, and I hit enter, and you can see it says initialized an empty git repository in this folder. And if you go to your folder, in case you don't see it, you can go to view and say let me see, there should be option to see hidden folders. I can go to this view. Generally it can be shown on the top here, show hidden folders. I will go to show and hidden items, and you can now see this is a .git empty hidden folder, added here. Okay, okay, so now our folder is added on Git, and now we have to create a repository on some online Git provider or Git repository provider. So you can use GitHub, or you can use any Git provider like Bitbucket, or you can also find AWS or Azure repositories. So you can also use GitLab. So any Git provider you can use. So I'm going to use GitHub here. So you can go to your browser and just search for GitHub. You can go to github.com. So this is github.com here. Now here, in case you do not already have an account, you can click on sign up, and this will ask you your email ID, and you can fill up the sign up form, and you can sign up on GitHub, and after that you can go to sign in. So I already have an account. I will directly go to sign in, and here I will sign in to my GitHub account. Okay, so once you have signed in, you will create a new repository. So here you can see option to create a new repository. Okay, you can also go here and say new repository, or just click on here, new repository. Okay, so this brings us to this page to create a new repository. Give a repository name here. So I will say Selenium Automation Framework. You can give any name. It must be available. It will show you if it is available or not here. Okay, if you want, you can give some description which is optional, and then you can keep it public or private. So if you keep it public, anyone can see your repository. I am keeping it public so that you can also check my project, and if you have to copy my code or refer anything, you can do that. Okay, and then I am going to keep all this as it is for now, and then click on create repository. Okay, so you can see the repository is created, although it is empty because we have not yet committed or added any changes here, but we have got our repository created. And you can see this is the link. You can take the link from here, or also you can take the link from here, from the URL itself. Okay, this is the repository URL. So we have done step number 4 here. Now we will copy the repository URL and then add it as a remote to our local project. Okay, so we have to tell on our local system, we have to inform that for the project folder that we have added on Git, this is the remote repository, this is the remote repository URL. Okay, so for doing that, we say git remote add origin, and then we give the repository URL. Okay, and the repository URL, you can take it from here, you can copy it from here, or even this should work, but let us just copy this one, and here I will say git remote add origin. Okay, so this is the command, git remote add origin, and then the URL of the repository. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, and because this was a public repository, as we have added this as a public repository, it did not ask us for any credentials, any GitHub credentials. Otherwise you may also have to add a step to add your Git credentials. Okay, so just in case you are keeping your repository private, you may be asked for authorization, and then you can do that. In case you face any issues, you can let me know, or you can also check online what you have to do for if it asks for any authorization. Okay, now after this we can add our project files on Git by saying git add dot. Now when we say git add dot means we are going to add everything that is present there. Otherwise we can also specify what we want to add, and here we can also use special characters. So that means let's say I have to, let me okay, let me show you here. When I say git add dot, it will add everything on that folder or the project folder to Git. Let me increase the size. Okay, otherwise I can say git add and git give some particular file name, or I can also say git add and say everything dot star, or I can say star dot txt, all the files with dot txt extension, or I can use while characters also here. Okay, so this you can see whatever you want to add. So I want to add everything, so I will say git add dot. Now before I do this, you can also do something for ignoring some files. Now if I show you my project, you can see there are some files like a Maven repository, and it has so many libraries which I don't want to add to Git, and then there will be some target folders which generates some resources, some files, some reports after the project is run. I also don't want this. So there are so many things in a project generally that we don't want to add to our remote Git repository, and the main reasons for that are there are certain things which are not needed, and then it will also make the repository very bulky, and it will make the process of committing the changes, adding the changes, it will make it very slow. So for that what we do is we add a .gitignore file. So we will add a .gitignore file in our project, and here we can add everything that we want to ignore from adding to Git. Okay, so let's go to our project. Now this you can do on the project folder itself. Let me show you. Here itself I can just add a file, or I can do it from Eclipse also here in your project. So I can say, let me just do it here so that it is common for any project. I will say here new, and I will say text document, and I will call it as .gitignore. Okay, so make sure that the spelling and everything is syntax is same. It is .gitignore. Okay, and now here in this file, you can open this in any text editor. In this file we will add all that we want to ignore from adding to Git. Okay, so for that you can manually add the things, or you can just get a template. I will say .gitignore file for Selenium Java project. Okay, so you can get many templates online. You can select anything from here. So you can see this is a template which is ignoring settings, class path, dot project, and you will also find a lot of things here. This covers a lot of things, and here also you can see this example also. Target is being any target folder is being ignored. Dot class path, dot project, dot settings, any jar files, war files, all these are getting ignored. Okay. Also, I think I had earlier seen a dot git ignore generator. Let me see if I can check it now. I will search for dot git ignore generator, and yes, I think we have some options, online tools for this. Okay. uh, I will say Selenium Java on Eclipse IDE, Selenium Java project. Let us see if it creates something for this, or do we have something better here? Yes, I think here we can actually select. So let me see. We have Java, Eclipse. Yeah, so here it is selecting. It gives us a lot of things, but we can select what we want. Okay. I think there was a tool from Git Tower. Let me see. Git Tower dot git ignore generator. Uh, yeah, should be fine. Yeah, here I will say Java, and we have Eclipse and Maven. I don't think it needs Selenium, so that should be fine. We have a Selenium Java Maven project. We have a Java Maven project basically, and that is on a Eclipse IDE. So I will say generate file. Yes, this is generated. So I think Maven is also important because we have to also ignore the folder which has all the Maven repositories, because that will be very, very bulky. So you can actually select what you need, but for now I'm just copying the things here. Okay, and I will save it. Also, it should be .gitignore without any extensions. So this is something you have to take care. I will have to check the extensions. Yeah, file name extensions, and then we have to rename it. You can right click or just press F2 to rename, and I'll just press F2 to rename and remove the extension, that is .txt. Okay. Okay, now it becomes a .gitignore file. You can also just refresh your project. If you are on Eclipse, you can check here as well. It should show the .gitignore file. So let me see. Or you can also close and reopen the project. So I'll just say close project, and then go to file and say open recent projects or file, or I can just say here uh, open project. Okay. Now see here also, one thing that you will notice here is, now because this is a Git, this is folder is added on Git, it is showing Selenium framework master, because it is now uh, it will add everything on a master branch. If you go to your repository on GitHub, you can also see here, this is our online repository, and here you can see it is also giving us options to push existing repository. We have to add this as a origin, which we have done, and then you have to create a branch, or you can use the default branch, and then you can push it to that branch. So you can create a branch main, or master will also work, so you can do this. Okay, so you can also check here. So now let us do that. I will go here, and we will first run command git add. I can also say git status. You can see git status will show us all the details, what is committed, what is not committed. Okay, So I will now say git add and dot. So it will all add all the uncommitted changes, and you can see it has added everything. Okay, now we will use the commit to commit all the changes. I will say git and then commit and then -m to give some commit message. I will say first commit, or you can give any message, meaningful message here, and you can see. Now here you can see now it is asking us for adding our name and email. So it is asking us for authorization now. Okay, now here you have to use your name that you have given for your GitHub account and the email that you have added on your GitHub. So while creating your GitHub account, the name and email that you have added or given there, you should use that. So you can go to your GitHub and you can see your name, your profile. So in my case, it is Raghav-Pal. I will use this, and then again the email that you have to give it here. Okay, in place of user.email, in place of this email you give your email of your GitHub account and your name of GitHub account. Okay, so I just gave that, and now if I'm pressing edit CLS to clear the screen. If you are on terminal of Mac or Linux, you will say clear, and now I will press up arrow to go to the earlier commands, and here I have gone to the command to commit again, and here you can see now it is showing me all these options. Okay, so when I say commit, it is showing me all the files that will get committed. So we have all this here. Okay, and now after this we will have to push to our branch. Now you can go to your repository on GitHub or any whatever repository you are using, and here you can check. If you see your branch name, if there is already some default branch created, you can check your branch name here. Otherwise, you can also go to your command line and say git branch and hit enter, and you can see the branch is master. So if you want to just put this everything on master, then you can just run the command git push -u origin master. In place of main, put your branch name, and if you want to create a main branch, then you will first have to create a main branch by using this command git branch -m main, and then you have to use this git push -u origin main. Okay, and also in case there are more branches, it will show you all the branches. This command git branch will show you all the branches, and the branch that you are on will be highlighted with a star and a different color. Okay, so I will just want to continue with this branch master, so I will say git push -u origin master. So I'm saying git push -u origin. Now origin means your remote repository that we have already added as origin in the earlier commands, and then I will just give the branch name, which is master, and hit enter. Okay, and let's see if it shows us the progress. Okay, now here it is asking us to sign in. Now if you are already signed in, if you are using you have already signed in with your browser on the same system, then it may do it directly. Otherwise it will ask you for sign in. So let me click on. You can also take a token or sign in with your browser. Let me try sign in with the browser. So it is opening this on my browser. I will use my GitHub credentials. Okay, okay, I will have to either use a token here. I can also try a recovery code. Okay, I have a recovery code, and let me just verify it. Yes, so should work. Let me check on my command line. Yes, it is now saying authentication in progress. And now if I just go and check my repository, so as of now it is still not added. I'm pressing Ctrl C to stop the process and again go to the earlier command, and let me check now because now I'm already logged in. If I say sign in with the code, let me see if this works. Okay, now it should work. So if I go to my command line, yes, now it is doing and it has done. It has uh, uploaded everything on my repository. So if I now go and refresh my repository here, I should have my project here, and yes, you can see my project is now here. Also, you will see it has not added the folders or files that we have added on gitignore, and that will make our repository very light and the process will become very fast. If I go to my src, and you can just check, I have all these, my project folder and all the files are here. This is my base test login page. This is my login test.java class, and also my pom.xml is here. So now you can check this URL. I will also keep this URL in my in the description of this video. So this is the URL, and you can just get my project, my entire project, using this URL. Okay, because this is a public repository, you can access my complete code and project here from here. Okay, so our process is done. We have now added. Now you can, we have also done step number 8. We have checked our repository. So now whenever you add any new files or you make any changes in your project, you will just have to say git add, git commit, and give some commit message, and then say git push -u origin on your branch name. Okay, so let me show you that as well. Let's say I will go to my project folder. You can do it from your ID or directly here. So let's say in my src and test java folder, I'm going to create one more file. I will just say, I'll do a right click here and say new, and I will create a file. I will say this is test.java, and inside this, so if I go now and see my tests package here, you can also see now this one is shown with a different icon. That means this is now not yet added on my repository and other files are already added. So if I go to this test.java, you can see this question mark means this is not yet added. And if I just say public class test, and I will also have to say package test, and then I'm just adding any just code for example. I will now go back to my command line and I will say git status. So this will show me this file is not yet added. So I will say git add. Now I can give the particular file name, or I can just say git add dot. Then I will say git commit -m and give some commit message, added test.java. You can give any message here, and then I will just say git push -u origin master. Okay, and this will do the commit and push. And now if I refresh my repository, you can now see here added test.java, which is just done now. And if I go to my src and tests, you can see this test.java is added here. Okay, also you can now see a lot of things here. You can see our branches, we have a single branch. You can create more branches. So just in case you are interested, you can go to my website, that is automationstepbystep.com, and here you can find my Git tutorials. So this is Git and GitHub. We also have GitLab here. So you will see a lot of things we can do with Git. Okay, and this is GitLab. So if you want to see more things, you can check here. Okay, we have already added gitignore. So this is how we can add any project on Git. I hope this was useful. I will see you in the next session. Thank you for watching and never stop learning.